And welcome back to Low Energy Videos, where we are today. Welcome back. Hear me. Hear me. Yep. Today we are playing the one, the only Stanley Parable, but because I don't have a secondary screen, you still have to see me try to fix the damn chat. There we go. Right, with that done, let's get into it. So, before we begin, I'm going to wet my whistle with a Koppenberg gin and lemonade. They make really nice fruit cider. Perfect pairing of strawberry and lime gin mixed with refreshing lemonade. Point is, it's cold. That'll be sweet. Now, I've seen people play Stanley Parable. I've never played it. Got it for free on Epic. Problem solved. Looks fucking hilarious. Not the best. I know why. Because it's strawberry and lime. I'm not a fan of strawberry. Strawberry juice. Strawberry ice cream now. The game never ends. The end is never. The end is loading. Now, I know this is a tiny game, but the idea is that you keep going back to it to discover new things. We won't be playing it for too long, though. Maybe an hour. And then I'm going to be playing something else afterwards. Damn, I did a number on my arm today. I don't know what. I think carrying this is something heavy. It's hurting. It's hurting, man. Well, it's taking a bit longer than I was expecting to load. So, what I know of this game is basically absurdist humor and breaking the fourth wall and Easter eggs. I know it's also a Gary's mod, and it's considered a staple of subversive, I can talk, subversive gaming. I can also put a hat on, for I'm a little bit chief. And I don't want you to see how bald I am. Bald. Bald. I feel like Homer looking in the mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the baldest one of all? Come on. Half-Life 2 didn't take this long to load.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Now, I'm gonna do this playthrough exactly as the plot says, because I've never played this, and it has been years since I saw a playthrough. So I'm very...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I don't want the narrator to get angry at me once on this playthrough. So I'm going to follow instructions to the letter. Now, I'm a good boy. Woof.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I remember this.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Things. What people want. Things, money. More money. Things, but money. More things. Graphs. Graphs about things and money. Not untrue. Room closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Which was not on that floor, but on this one. Oh, it's fancy. Damn, boss got tall ceilings. Executive bathroom. Where's the big-breasted lady who works there? She's gone. Not big-boobed girl. You made getting fired all the better.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I'm a movie star. It is kind of surreal, isn't it? It's kind of... I wasn't expecting a loading screen, but okay. It has a sort of Outer Limits, Twilight Zone vibe to it. Actually, more so I'd say Black Mirror or what was the other one? Black Mirror, Love, Death and
Descending
Robots.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself,
realized he had
to
no
question
feet.
the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
See? You're still being controlled, even in the narrative of you no longer being controlled.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Well, yeah. He realized all he had to do was push W, and he would. So he did.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many
Matrix is
individuals
real.
reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ooh, freedom meant nothing. Well, yeah, he's an officer.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Then Stanley remembered his medications sometimes caused hallucinations. Stanley was found in his
He
office,
refused to believe it.
drooling
He
at his
couldn't
own
accept
fire.
it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable.
Imagine?
Wasn't
Could you
it?
imagine?
Was it even
just
possible?
press.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
No, you don't need jump scares. And if you... Jump scares, mind control, I mean, there's nothing to jump you. You're the only character in this whole game. Except for the narrator, of course.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Is he dead?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command.
He
Freedom
raged
was
against it,
mere
if you will.
moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was
Then he looked and
perhaps
he realized
the
he was
only
in
thing
Yorkshire
worth
and decided to
knowing.
go back in.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
Forget that. This is Somerset. This is the fucking the Shire. Bunch of hobbits gonna come out.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Seriously, I think Stanley died.
And Stanley
Sounds like a metaphor for
was
him.
happy.
Then Stanley realized there is no God. And just there, beat the game. Okay, so that's the base game. Did everything, every last thing that I was commanded to. Whoa. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
No, begin the game again, right? Now we enter into the surrealist part. We say no to your fucking narrative and your fucking narrative. We have ourselves a beer. Budvar. Hiya, Bill. Oh shit, I just noticed the game isn't scaled right. Sorry guys, I don't know how to fix that. Well, we're getting some really old school low energy then. But what I can do is I'll drag I'll use that box to my advantage. As you know about those boxes. Technically, you can beat the game as quick as 420. That's you get an achievement for it. So when does the narrator start kicking in?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his
I
co-workers.
noticed something to do with the window. I can duck. Oh. What was that all about? My goodness. How do we get up here?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
No, it didn't.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Alright, baby. Alright. You gave me a task and I'm gonna do it.
I have to say I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Don't forget to click that like button if you haven't already.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
417. See anything else about 417? Yeah, double click your mouse. A woman would have a distinct advantage in this. Hey. No. 417. You can't jump. Now, how many did he say?
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. 415. 10.
Now, back to door number 437.
Three, 7.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine? All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
I wonder if this is what he's like when he's about to come. Wait, yes, that'll do it. I think Nick Game does like me. Yeah, I'm assuming you meant doesn't. Or else he's just not here anymore. He might have left. Achievement. Achievement. I must achieve this achievement. Here, we're gonna be playing Far Cry 4 after this. I know, Red Dead and all that. Red Dead can come later. I got myself Far Cry on Ubisoft and I want to use it. I got Far Cry 5 too, but if I'm going to start anything, I'll start with 4. Mostly because it's more likely to actually work. Okay, so you can't jump, we've established that. I, however, call baby back bullshit. You can get up here. You can't get over this. That's it. Yes, you can. Haha! Yes!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? No. Now, my time dealing with Yahtzee's games has prepared me well for this sort of British humour. There once was a happy little dog. There once was a happy little dog. By the way, I know Yahtzee's has a whole new Dev Diary series. No. I'm off doing that again.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Thank you, disembodied narrator, that everything is scripted. You have taught me the value of Christmas. I don't know why you were teaching me that. I think I might have misunderstood your message. The true meaning of Christmas? Kill off every last Finnish person. It's his message, it's not mine. Now, I'm going to stay in this universe until I'm certain that something crazy's happened. You are booze! I am Lurky. I am booze. I am consumption. Consumption is the function of this junction. Reality bends to my whim and my liver's whim. Actually, not my liver's whim. My liver hates me. We do not get along. I'm going to continue for a little while longer until he says something else. And he knows that, so we're playing a game of cat and mouse. No. Yes. Okay, so as far as I can do. I heard that. Yeah, your liver should. Hold on, you. No point having whatever anyone's saying being cut off. Return, you late. Ah, yes, your liver should. Think about my liver. Why does the only chat feel very, very unfortable? Wording. Wording. You say wording. Well, look at the tiny small amount of people we got going on here. I'm a tiny channel. My chat is small and does not... Unless I'm playing fucking... like Red Dead or Skyrim. Although I'm going to be probably playing Far Cry 4 after this. Alright, I think the idea is that I meant to quit the joke. So, let's get back into it.
This is the story of a man.
Now, if I'm right, This time, I don't touch anything. And if I'm right, the narrator will lose his fucking mind. So we'll give him a few minutes, and if he doesn't say anything, we'll do some of the quest. Not all of it. There's a few divergent points. Okay, narrator, talk to me. You, me, we can do this together. As a family. At the old times, down by the lake. After Uncle Joey had too much grain, alcohol. Took his belt to us. Those were tough times, narrator, but I believed in you. When you were addicted to Flintstone chewable vitamins, I was there for you. And you lent me money for my gambling addiction so many times. This is the relationship the narrator and I have.
Stanley stood for a long time in one spot. It's part of a game. He likes to see how long he can go without dying. So far, he's doing excellent. And if he just stays right where he is, I'm sure he'll keep up that good momentum. Let's observe the genius at work.
Here we are, in the wilds. Stanley is trying to break the narrative structure of a video game. The narrator is well aware of this, because he is coded to prepare for it. However, he is also coded to be kind of pissed off at it. Let's see who wins out. But none of the news I remember that I've disturbed you for years back. While you're typing though, you're Uncle Joey, I'm having me to your ass into lifetime jail, bro. Good old Uncle Joey. Shame how me and the narrator misplaced his pills. Doctor said he couldn't be without them for very long. Doctor was right. We were old enough, went to the Merchant Marine together. There was this knife fight in a bar in Saigon. It was called Saigon back then. God, what a worthless war. So many bodies. That's when I knew the narrator and I, we had a bond deeper than anything the world could throw at us. It was him and me against the world. Then he found her. I still love him, but could have done better. Music stopped. Narrator. Oh, fuck. Narrator. Narrator. Come on. Talk to me. Give me some of that sweet, sweet fourth wall break. Just realized the logo looks like the LGR screen. I feel like I'm about to learn how shitty the latest Sims 4 DLC is. Alright. I'm gonna give him with a star clock. I'm gonna give him how long? Wow, we got a good few looks so far. Thanks for that, guys. 5 minutes countdown. Okay. I'm gonna start a 5-minute countdown. And if he doesn't say anything in that time, we'll go off and do it. Try to get another 4th wall break. This game is all about outpacing the narrator. We're only going to be doing it for about another 20 odd minutes, and then we'll end the stream. And then I'll start up Far Cry. Now, Far Cry probably won't be the best graphics because I want it to actually, the stream to work, but we should still get some pretty views. I do love me some Far Cry 4. Get me a helicopter, like a helicopter and a grenade launcher, and I become my own air support. Oh, there's some shitty missions in that one. That'll be a long time yet. I like your concept of a channel. Well, I appreciate it. It's very straightforward. Camera, me. YouTube used to be like this. That's all YouTube used to be. Before the Instagrammers, before whatever the fuck the response people were. Just people, camera, talking. Anything. Very low energy, very low grade. I'd have been very low energy even back then. But damn it. I was someone once. I could have been a contender. But hard. Nowadays it's all green screen this and accusations of being a child molester that. Oh, I'm sorry, a Play-Doh. If anyone ends up sponsoring. Okay, I think the joke isn't triggering. How many more minutes? 2 minutes to go. Come on, narrator. Give me something to show that I'm on the right track. YouTubes grew up and realized money is more important than saying shit. Shit is scary, money is not. We are in the age of the influencer. The world crushes us between its mighty boot and the hard ground of reality. Its mighty boot, by the way, is big corporate sponsors and whatever the fuck TikTokers are. Oh, come on, baby. Yeah. Yeah, maybe don't. Maybe when you have the urge to type, don't. Just take a breather. Get that blood boiled down. Not up, down. Are we there yet? 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Yeah, no. The joke isn't gonna land. So let's get out of here. And after we type anything, really. Where's the camera? That makes no sense. There should be a... Wait. No. Those are lights. Sure.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now here's a...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now this is one I know what you do.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Alright, let's go to the employee lounge. Ooh.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Stanley realized for $1.25, this cold drink...
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yes, it is. Hey, the clock doesn't move.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Alright, let's see what he has to say in here. Because he's clearly not happy I'm doing this.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Yes. No, I think you're trying to break the narrative and be like, dude, stick to the script, and I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, I'm gonna look at this stock footage of Mount Everest, probably from Getty Images. And look, the ocean. Do you not understand? The ocean. And let's talk about these blinds. Stanley realized that he was putting on weight and didn't need such sugary drinks, so he got himself a water. However, he realized he couldn't do that either because he had no money. He had no money because the game developers did not bother to put some money in. This is a mechanic you decided should have been implemented to make it more interactive. But Stanley forgot to realize something important. Fuck you, I'd like to see you make a game that's so popular. The narrator realizes he lost his hand on Stanley a little bit and wants to apologize. It's been a long day. He started recording this dialogue around about, what was it, 10:30? Dave! What time did we start? 10:30? Yeah, about that. I know we got into the office at 10:30. The narrator realized that he broke more than the fourth wall, and he's hoping that the sound editor bothers to fix it. The narrator also realizes, due to the small staff we have, that he is also the sound editor and the scriptwriter. And there is no Dave, and there is no office. He's doing this in his bedroom. The narrator is starting to feel very sad right now because he has no friends. He never finished college and didn't do too well in secondary school. That's high school for you Americans. The narrator, wondering what he's doing with his life, realized he hadn't had a shower in 3 days. The narrator's starting to cry right now. Because she left him, like everyone else. This, of course, was an Easter egg. The narrator has all these lines of dialogue in front of him. See, I could do it too.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Let's get back to business to defeat the Huns. Yeah, the epic battle between him and a soda. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Stanley is now in the warehouse area, where the people who bother to actually work with their hands for a living make their meager pay. Stanley always was intimidated by them because they seemed to be more emotionally stable than he was, so he'd make fun of them by mocking their poor education standards. Stanley was a bit of a classist like that. Stanley didn't know why, as his father had worked on a dockyard for 3 years. Stanley hadn't seen his father though, since the car crash. Almost. Car crash had jogged Stanley's memory. Car crash. Yes, Stanley remembered. He was impervious to pain.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Here's the noise from Abe's Odyssey. Do 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 do. Whoops.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Imagine this was This is technically Stanley's only universe.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
I got the
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Straight ahead, you say? I don't think so. Stanley mocks the narrator, who's just trying to do his job.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Oh, those are dank means. They're, murky. Are you lunatic by any chance? I'm getting a strong lunatic vibe from you.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right.
Now it's
Why
the
would
ro-
I
now
have
he's-
ever
he's
said it was
fucking-
to the right? What was I thinking?
He's fucking
It's
with
clearly...
me now.
Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Yeah. Yeah, he's fucking with me now.
Let's see, we went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
And the truck ran him over. Main story. To the main story, I mock you. No. 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 No.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Ha! It restarted the game for me.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, this is as well written as I imagined.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
No.
Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay,
Stanley's
then.
a naughty boy.
It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Now we have to go on a quest to find the plot. Oh, this is good. This is good writing. We've gone into a maze now. Genuine maze, for fuck's sake.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Dick. I was enjoying. Let's see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Buddy, you're making things worse.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Now where are we? What the fuck is this?
Now this...
We wandered
Well, I'll
in-
be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Yes.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Congratulations.
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
But you're the one that lost the fucking plot
I'm getting
train.
weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Passive aggressive piece of shit. Let me explore fuck cognitive narrative. Baby. Fuck your rules. We're going. We don't need roads.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
He's not even. He's like, no. No, you go back to the line. They say taupe is soothing.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there?
Yeah.
Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story?
Yes.
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
You got some weird
Okay.
light it up.
Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
The Saturday Death March. Billions have died. Birds like follow the clock break the shackles, find stronger ones of mind. The only thing about at this point, I got a little drunk and started to forget how lines worked.
cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully.
I remember
You
the
won't want to
fern.
miss anything.
Now you in the chat, pay attention to the fern. It's very important that you do. Alcohol will eventually dull my memory to the point where I'll be like, dislike, unsub, and tell people to avoid me like the plague for more low energy content. I'd be more likely to get more success with that. Okay, so we have a fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right?
We're having an
the
argument
story?
with the line now, are
Is any of this ringing a bell?
We've established what the Stanley Parable is, though, so...
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after
betrayed
everything
me.
we've
I'm
been
fed
through,
up with the line.
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart. You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something
been trying
exciting,
to.
daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
The narrator's starting to get on board. He's starting to see. He's starting to grasp. He's trying to express himself.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay. I want a purple daffodil the size of a rhino with the face of Shaquille O'Neal attacking me, and the only thing I have to defend myself is a slingshot made out of silver, but the elastic band is a stripper's G-string, and in the little triangle thing on the back that hold like the little T. Well, actually, it would technically be the other way around. So the little triangle thing, which has a picture of the Buddha on its front. I want to be able to fire at it mini Death Stars the size of golf balls, but with the destructive power of the actual Death Star. And yet, the Daffodil Shaquille O'Neal nightmare that's coming at me, that's also speaking in Mandarin, while it's listing off every single acting achievement of Jeff Goldblum, is only taking 1% damage at a time. And we're also fighting in a volcano that has boobs on the side of the wall with bras on, so YouTube won't end the stream. But really funny bras, like the ones that look like tennis balls or seashells. And you have to basically motorboat them to get your health back. But Shaquille O'Neal can do it too. So you have to distract them by firing off more Death Stars. And the music, the collective works of Joe Pesci tried to be a music star at one point, a rapper or whatever. Let's make that shit happen.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms.
The line wants
Just
to
don't
get involved
acknowledge
with
it.
us.
We should be fine.
Oh no. The line is like, no, I exist for a purpose now. Follow me. I exist for a reason. Huh? Where are you going, line?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all
After a long time, Stanley dies.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be.
Narrators
I
of the
don't want it
world,
to be.
unite.
I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
He's getting scared.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination, so I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you do happen to have a... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There's one place left I want to check, and then we'll end it.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. all of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Damn. Now we've entered proper Twilight Zone. Now.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
So, is he in purgatory?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
This is cool.
It was comforting to think this, And in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
All of it's happening.
She had no time for this,
The joke
so it was
ending,
only a
the
moment that she stood there, staring down at the
ending,
body.
the real ending.
And then she turned and ran.
It's whatever you want it to be. It's actually really well written. And there's more endings too. We're going to do the one I originally planned. That was a valid ending, the same as any other. We're in the multiverse. Stanley is in the multiverse right now. Welcome to the multiverse and beyond. It is so well written, this thing is. It's not just funny. Like, you break the narrative, you stick to the narrative, you break the narrative in numerous other ways.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There is a... I know I'm actually... Well, I need to pee. But, there is a game... yeah, there is a philosopher who... I don't know why I minimized the game. That was stupid of me. I have a BRB screen, but it's kind of useless right now because I don't have anything up. Yeah, I'm gonna pee and I'm gonna try to form my thoughts. There's a philosopher who talks about this. I forget what it's called though. I'm trying to remember. Right, so all I can remember is that he's either French or Dutch, and Kyle Green talks about him, using Skyrim as an example. The guy was like in the 50s, there was no video games back then. He was referring to movies. The idea is, there is a character in a film or any narrative. A man walks into a room, sits down at a chair, goes to sleep, gets up. That's the story. That man has a billion trillion reasons, whatever reason you want him to have, or what the script says he has, to sit down and go to sleep on a chair. But with a video game, an outside factor can influence his actions. But if he is a character, a person, then it's kind of like playing GTA 5 and you're trying to do the plot. And then for no reason you're bored, you're driving, you suddenly swerve into a crowd of people and run them over. Imagine if you just normally did that. Your whole life will be over. But a video game is designed to accept that and take it in. But you tell that to the individual and his mind will be fucking blown. You can have, even like the protagonist has to follow the plot. But a video game character, there's a term for it, and I can't remember what it is. This is what the philosopher was talking about. There's nothing stopping the video game character from just turning off the side of, in the case of the Dovahkiin in Skyrim, you can go and you can kill Alduin and you can become the Dovahkiin and all that. Or you could spend the entirety of your playthrough just mining ore and chopping wood or jumping off High Hrothgar. It's all valid. It's all 100% valid because it's all written in. The only thing that isn't written in is if you break the game. And in this world, you break the game by jumping out the window or anything like that. It's all valid. It's all put together. And it acknowledges that it's all valid.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
They've really thought about it. Like, how deep does this rabbit hole go? So he died, but he also
Yet there
found
was
out
not a
his whole
single
life was a
person here
lie.
either.
He found
Feeling a
out
wave of
the confusion
disbelief,
ending. There's
Stanley
probably gonna be
decided to go
fun
up to his
endings we don't
boss's
see.
office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And now here we are. I got a feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say, that's a lovely purse. Almost rhymes. Extreme bathroom time. Wow, for such a nice bathroom, he has an absolutely shitty one. You know, those executive bathrooms, they also have things like TVs and a guy with a little perfume thing. And don't forget also the power of showers. They have showers. I think it's pretty cool. I think more places need public showers. Business strategy: shoot the panda. Didn't actually say anything about that. Indoors monthly graphs. I know that song. Is that from The Sims? They create a Sim character for like Sim 2 or Sim 3. We'll get to the other game, don't you fret. Just in the meantime. Also tomorrow we'll update the gaming PC down there in the corner. We've got a couple more hundred to throw in on that. We're finally making some progress. Christ, didn't make it easy, I'll tell you that much. Oh my god. Oh. Let's go down then. What's going on with all this static? I think it's intentional. The joke is that the elevator doesn't go anywhere. It's just an excuse for the game to load. Yeah, alright, that makes sense.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Fancy booze.
What could it mean? Stanley
Hey,
wondered
that's new.
aloud.
That wasn't
nobody.
here last time.
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing.
Oh,
He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I can see why people end up playing this for hours and hours at a time. There is a lot going on here. Like, Stanley coming into this new world is still a part of the narrative. And the narrative can be broken just because Stanley's world is shattered. we can still break this narrative as well.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It's like everything has been answered for. This is actually a cause to be made for a omnipotent god.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That is an escape. Now this Stanley...
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
No, he doesn't. The player does. Stanley doesn't know this. Because the narrator is only a diegetic when the script demands it. And who's to say you're not lying?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
See ya.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Yep. All this is canon. All this is real. All this isn't. It's just...
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What do you think you're accomplishing, lady? Stanley, you're nuts. Yeah? Like this is just really well written. Oh great. Now we're inside the prison.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Yep. He was also alive. But also he never lived. This is the joke out of Saturday morning breakfast cereal. There's a comic of a... make a beer here. There is... I don't want her to over-talk to me. Because this is my show, not a disembodied narrator with a pre-written script. There is a comic for Saturday morning breakfast cereal which has a picture of a family on a beach, a dad and two children. He's got one on his shoulders and another one's like, "Chase me, Dad, chase me." And they're all having a great time. And then the caption is... These people never lived. They are a collection of lines. They have a faith worse than death. They have a faith worse than death. Never existing, never dying. It's kind of true. They're not even aware of what they are. But it's the same logic as this is not a pipe. If you're curious, type in "this is not a pipe" and you'll see a picture of a very well drawn pipe with a caption in French saying "this is not a pipe." And he's right, it's not a pipe, it's a collection of lines that we give meaning to the pipe. See, here's the actual whole map. Office layout. This blueprint shows that the office from the beginning of the game, Stanley office to the 2 doors, was the first part of the game was built. Sections have been added to the alter throughout the development to the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Yep. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to the get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches 2 doors in a good time. Yep. The 2 doors. The set of the 2 doors is Stanley's very first concrete piece of Stanley Parable design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game merged extension of inspiration and contradiction of the room post. Yep, this is pure philosophy. Like, it's the potential of whatever is behind those 2 doors. Anything. The office. This is kind of like a letter from the game developers. Button sounds. Selection of sounds used throughout the buttons were pressed, and it mixture strokes and synthesized tones. Here are the credits. Parabolic also does this as well, but Christ almighty, I wouldn't blame you if you never wanted to play that. Ooh, that one had solitaire on. Ooh, employee database. Can't see. No, this is deep state craziness right now. Development of the boss's office. And this is the Gary's mods installed, and eventually it turns into this. Not Gary's mod. Yep. Office clock. But even this is just another narrative tool. The idea above all else is to engage the player for as long as possible. Underground. Early version of the underground of the game. Employee lounge. Oh, this is cool. And I got this for free as well. It was on the Epic Store. I mean, I can't imagine it goes very much these days. This was the first ever real walking simulator that like made mainstream popularity. The very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. See? Countdown desk. Oh, the countdown ending. I didn't even do that. Look. Oh my. I think people like Matthew Matosis or the dude who did that great Oblivion retrospective should do this. Talk about the Stanley Parable. Actually, I think maybe Matthew Matosis did. That'd be really cool. Exit. Why? Because it says it's an exit. But it is also an exit. So is this. Zending. Screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as Zending, which is eventually cut and merged. Where Stanley achieves inner peace. Zending levers. Narrator would describe the color of the lever that they... Oh, they didn't script it. Zending models. Zending went through 4 iterations. The ending we were... and we thought it was complete, so I abandoned it and changed it shortly before launch. The game is now paused. For a long time we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Fortunately, very few players realized it was supposed to do, and frustrating for everyone. This is pretty cool because they're admitting that they kind of came up with ideas that no one liked, and they kind of dropped it. That's the sort of thing that... Did the game crash? Yeah? Game crashed on me. Alright. I think we'll actually end it here. I don't know what the fuck happened about this, but... yeah, this was fun. a fun one-offer. Don't ever expect me to play this again. I'm actually gonna have to hard reset now. I don't want you to see like me opening up tabs and trying to close shit. So I'll be back in a little bit to play Far Cry 4. So in the meantime, I might grab something that isn't chocolate. I've been eating some lovely Aero bars, but I should get something cooked. So I'm gonna get myself some dinner, and then I'll be back to play like a proper. Well, this is a proper game. Very cool, proper game. Great as a writer if you like writing in any way. But yeah, I'm gonna go and hard reset now. Fucking happens. But I want to thank everyone who popped in. If you like the stream, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the links down below for our Streamlabs. I want to help out towards the gaming stream, PC. Our Discord, where I will be trying more and more to get engaged. I've been putting up new emotes as of late. Instagram, and also there's a link down there to if you want to throw support to the still ongoing struggle of Black Lives Matter. Yeah, this is completely frozen, so I'm gonna do the hard thing. But I've been Low Energy Videos. See you all in a little bit. Hope you have a lovely evening, and remember, the plot can be whatever you want it to be.